Few people would have known the name Elnaz Rekabi last week. Today, however, the Iranian climber returned to the country's capital of Tehran to a hero's welcome. Thousands cheered her name in the dark of night as she departed from her flight, as she became the latest symbol of a growing revolution for women's rights in the country. But who is she, and how did she reach this point? A competitive sports climber, Rekabi won her first international medal with silver in bouldering at the 2013 Asian Games in Tehran. In later championships, she achieved bronze in two separate events. Her greatest competitive achievement to date came last year with a bronze medal in bouldering at the World Championships in Moscow. Competitive climbing is a relatively niche sport, however, meaning that many of us would only have heard her name mentioned for the first time this week. That's because, on Sunday, Rekabi competed at the IFSC Climbing Asian Championships in Seoul, South Korea, without her hijab on. Under the laws of the Islamic Republic, female athletes are required to compete with their headscarf on at all times. Rekabi was lauded for what was widely seen as an act of defiance against the Iranian theocracy, which is facing one of its most existential threats in years, thanks to protests sweeping the country after the death of a woman in police custody weeks ago. That woman, Mahsa Amini, was arrested by the country's morality police, which enforces the country's strict laws on female clothing, and her death has led to widespread protests from Iranian women who have taken to the streets without their hijabs in defiance of the law since her death was made public. Following her performance at the championship, Rekabi was reported to have gone missing, causing global concern for her safety. According to reports, her passport and mobile phone were seized, and her flight back to Tehran was put forward by a day. But that is not where the confusion ended. On Tuesday, before her return, an account attributed to Rekabi insisted that it was an accident. The post read, "Due to bad timing and the unanticipated call for me to climb the wall, my head covering inadvertently came off." While that may look cut and dry, according to BBC Persian reporter Rana Rahimpour, the language used in this post is similar to previous comments from Iranian athletes who performed without headscarves, and gives the impression that it was written under duress. So where does this leave Iran's new heroine? The Iranian embassy in Seoul has hit out at what it calls, quote, "all fake news, lies and false information about Rekabi." The International Federation of Sport Climbing, meanwhile, said it was trying to, quote, "establish the facts on the matter." A growing number of people in Iran are unwilling to adhere to the Republic's strict laws anymore. And with the population becoming increasingly brave in their protests, it appears that, whether we hear publicly from Rekabi upon her return or not, silence will only enhance her hero status and inspire the people of Iran to continue to fight for what they believe.